Okay, is it clear? Okay. Hi, I am Dr. Barney, a cosmetic dermatologist at Ejira Skin and Laser Clinic here at Pondicherry. So, I'll be doing a series of videos on common creams and lotions, what we use and what we shouldn't use. So, the idea of this video, or the idea of this subsequent videos which I'm going to make, is just to create a general awareness of what is the right thing to do, and as a cosmetic dermatologist, what we usually say or what we should follow. So there are three scientific ways by which anti-aging can be achieved. Number one is weight loss, which includes calorie restriction. Number two is using a vitamin A cream. And three, and the most important, last but not the least, is using sunscreens. So our topic for today is sunscreens. So what are sunscreens? So sunscreens are agents which are applied to the body and face to prevent UV damage. So since UV damage is the most important aspect of aging, so this single measure of using a sunscreen is a very important tool in the treatments which we use for anti-aging. So sunscreens are broadly classified into two types. We call one as physical sunscreen and chemical sunscreens. So physical sunscreens are just physical. They are just like a layer of curtain over your face, and just they refract the sun rays. Whereas chemical sunscreens, they modify the rays which get refracted, they absorb, they refract. So that is chemical sunscreens. So since we live in India, which is very close to equator, 80% of the time we are exposed to UV radiation. So using sunscreen is of paramount importance. So how to use a sunscreen? So this is the sunscreen which you normally get. So sunscreen is usually calculated on SPF, which we call it as sun protection factor. That is, what is sun protection factor is, you take a subject, you expose him to sunlight for a particular, say for 1 hour, say he'll tan a bit, tan more. But the same thing, you apply sunscreen and you show for the same time, nothing happens, or the same tanning will happen with the sunscreen only after 3 hours. So that is sun protection factor. So sun protection factors, normally we recommend anywhere from 30 to 50 SPF. Cosmetic creams they claim to have 60, 70, 80 SPF, which is of no use, and it is not possible. So normally it's 30 to 50 SPF, 50 being the highest available pharmacologically. Here I want to say one thing about cosmetic sunscreens. So cosmetic sunscreens are good, but the problem is some of them are not quantified and qualified. That is, they don't have a quality control. Whereas in a pharmacology, where what you get from prescription sunscreens, they go through a rigorous of testing, since they come under the drug category. So they have the testing which has to be done. So the protection wise, any day using a pharmacological tested sunscreen is always better. So how to use a sunscreen? First and foremost important thing is, sunscreen should be applied at least minimum 2 times a day, irrespective of what you do. Sir, I don't go out in the sun at all. I stay indoors. I work on my computer only. Yes, but computers do emit radiations, right? You have lights, artificial lights. So the idea is use the sunscreen at least 2 times a day. You should apply sunscreen 20 minutes before you go out, because as I told you before, sunscreens are of two types, physical and chemical. So the chemical sunscreen have to work on your skin before they can start their action. So that gap of 20 minutes is necessary. So some people will say, sir, I used a sunscreen, I went out and I got tanned. This is the reason. You have to wait for 20 minutes. That is very, very, very important. If you don't follow this, you're not going to get a response. Paradoxically, you can tan also. So that is one thing. Second thing is the quantity. See, normally what I say is, see, this is our sunscreen. So normally what I say is, you have to take something like this amount. So this is like an average amount, maybe a 1 rupee coin size, yeah. So this is the normal amount which you have to take for single application. So this has to be applied over the face using a dot method, which I will be showing you in other subsequent videos, how to use the sunscreen. It's when it's applied on a model. So it has to be applied 20 minutes before, approximately half a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon depending on the surface area. Stay inside for 20 minutes, then you venture out. If you're going to go to the beach, or you're going to travel in your two-wheeler for a long time, if you are a sales representative, you are a bank executive, you travel a lot, then this application of sunscreen will not be enough. So apart from sunscreen, you have to use a broad-rimmed hat, you have to use your shades. If you're going to travel like in the noon time, you have to cover yourself with a cloth. I'm saying this for two-wheelers. And sir, I go in a car every day. Doesn't matter. You're just blocking the heat only. The rays will still pass through the glass shields. It's raining. Should I use sunscreen? Yes, you have to use a sunscreen, because during rain you don't get the heat only, but the cloud cover will not prevent all the rays. Rays will come in. So sunscreen you have to use twice a day, 20 minutes before you go out, and along with that use the other sun protection factors also. This is if you are able to get this step properly, almost 30 to 40% of skin conditions or anti-aging can be achieved only by this single step. No need to put makeup, costly creams, this, that, nothing is needed. Only this. And obviously sunscreen varies from, if you have an oily face, you have to use a water-based or cream-based sunscreen. You have a dry skin, you have to use a cream-based sunscreen. You have a sensitive skin, then you have to go for a physical blocker. That is what I told, the normal ones. So it varies. That a dermatologist will say you. But the moral of the story is, use sunscreen regularly, twice a day, 20 minutes before you venture out. Cover yourself up. By this single step, you can achieve anti-aging excellently. So thanks for this. I'll be seeing you soon. Bye-bye.